Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Charge Podcast. My name is Slayton Cruickshank, and I just recently graduated from Texas A&M University. Gig 'em.
Whoop! Had to throw that in there.
So I'm trying to break into the commercial real estate industry here in North Texas. And my goals in starting this podcast are to teach you guys and myself about what you can do to fuel your career and get started and get going. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome my first guest. He is a prominent figure in the commercial real estate industry here in North Texas, and he just so happens to be my dad.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Brad Cruickshank, and we have a small real estate development company called CBD Realty Partners, focused primarily on pad sites and build-to-suit opportunities here in North Texas area and really throughout Texas as well. But hey, thanks for having me on. I think this is absolutely wonderful that you're putting this podcast together. It's going to be absolutely great. A lot of people come out of college and you've got your degree, you've got your knowledge, you've got everything rolling, and now it's time to get into the industry and get working. And one of the first things you really have to start focusing on is your network. And this is the shit they don't teach you in school. I mean, this is great information that's going to be extremely helpful for you as well as anybody else that's getting out into this industry and wants to learn about this. It's great. Thank you.
Well, thank you for being on. And I know network is something that's extremely vital to not only real estate, but to every single professional industry. And that's why I'd like to ask you kind of how would I build my network if I was just getting started, just out of college? What's the first step that I should take?
Well, first step is really getting into commercial real estate. The first step is really to determine what property sector that you want to get into. Real estate can get pretty segmented, and really you start out with the top primaries, which is the office properties. You've got industrial properties, retail shopping center properties, and apartments. So you really look at those four primary segments and really think about them and which one of them you feel the most comfortable with, that you're most interested in, that you want to learn about it. I mean, you're going to spend your career in it. Just getting out of school, you may not know, and that's perfectly fine. I mean, you can learn it as you go. You can get involved in a couple of different ones, and you can eventually you'll find the fit. You'll find what you're really interested in and which property types that you want to get going with. I think as soon as you get that figured out, the next step would be really getting involved in some of the different networking organizations. There's several of them, several different networking organizations for absolutely anything. But pick the property types that you want to focus on, look for the organizations within each of those property types, and join them. Go to those meetings. Go to that first meeting that is a networking function. It's typically a luncheon or a breakfast that they throw on. They'll have a speaker that'll come out and talk. But just start going to those meetings. Those are networking meetings. That's what they're made for, is for people to come out and talk and network. And that's, as far as getting started and getting growing your network, that is the absolute best place to go out and meet people in the industry.
So just to summarize what you said, it's important to kind of pick a more niche area and not just a whole broad concept of, say, commercial real estate. Or if I were getting into general business, I would want to pick something like accounting or business management rather than just having this really broad glass.
Absolutely. And just because as you do get going through business, it does become very segmented. I mean, you've got to be an expert in your field, and it's hard to be an expert in every different field. There's so many different aspects to it, not just real estate, but financial side of it, any of it. There's so many different aspects that you can go through. So yes, you do need to be a little bit specific as you get going. I mean, as you get started, you can be a little general just by going to the different networking events for the different property segments. But as you get going, absolutely, you're going to need to start focusing on one of them and become the absolute expert in that property segment and whatever you're doing within that segment as well, whether it's brokerage, development, tenant rep, a lot of different segments within each property type as well. But as you get going, you'll figure that out. Just getting started is the main thing. Get
Gotcha.
moving.
And so when you're just getting started and I'm looking for these organizations that you're talking about, what would be the best way for me to find them? Because maybe I am focused on industrial real estate, but how would I go about finding like the best organization in industrial real estate to be a part of and really invest my time in?
Well, again, there's plenty of them, and obviously you've got the primaries for industrial real estate. I think a lot of the people are involved in the SIOR, Society of Office and Industrial Properties. Um, that's really the one that's focused primarily towards the industrial side as well as the office side. For apartments, they've got the Texas Apartment Association, which really focuses on all of the all the different apartment ownership groups and managers. For retail, you've got ICSC, and I was always a part with the CCIM, which is really more investment real estate related. So yeah, there's a lot of different ones, and really it's just picking a few of them and getting going with it.
Gotcha. Okay, and so say I've signed up for this organization and I'm going into a luncheon fresh out of college. I don't know anybody there. I feel like for me personally, because I've been to one of these, it was kind of hard to talk to people without feeling like I was selling myself to them, like pitching me to this person, or kind of being awkward and not more of a friendship centered relationship.
Yeah, well, sure, and that's natural. I mean, you're going to be that way when you go to any new organization where you don't know anybody. I mean, all of the people that are sitting at those tables, a lot of them know, they know half the people in that room, or a lot of them at least. So walking into one of those can be pretty intimidating. I mean, you're fresh out of college. Yeah. I mean, you're here walking into a bunch of people that have been in this industry for a long time, and it's very, very intimidating. But you don't need to be. I mean, you really don't. Those organizations, the luncheons that you go to, they are created for the purpose of networking. Everybody there is there because they want to network. They want to talk with other people in the industry, people they're doing deals with, see what's going on with whoever else, and kind of keep up with what everybody's doing. It's a great function to where you can do that just in a very general manner without being specific about going to meetings and talking about a specific project. You're in a much more general manner, and you got a speaker that's talking about something within the industry as well. So you're learning something from those speakers also. So now I think the biggest thing is don't be intimidated about it.
Okay.
When you walk in, you're not going to know anybody. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's natural. But typically they're a luncheon or a breakfast or something along those lines where you're going to sit down at a table. And when you walk in and you see a table, you want to find a table that's got 6, 7 people sitting on it and at it and one empty seat. You want to take that empty seat and you want to introduce yourself to everybody at that table as soon as you sit down. Tell them your name, tell them what you're doing, tell them that you just graduated, tell them that you're looking for a job in this industry and you're coming to this because you're interested in this segment of the industry and really want to get to know some of the professionals within this industry. So immediately you're going to meet everybody at that table. If it's a buffet type thing and you're not sitting down at the table, same thing. I mean, you're standing in line, you're waiting to walk through the buffet. Just turn around and talk to the person behind you and let them know. Ask them what they're doing. Ask them how they're going. Introduce yourself. Say hi. This is my first time here. First time here. I haven't been to one of these before. What's it all about? Just start asking questions. They know you're new. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's not something to be intimidated about. I mean, think about it just like you're going to a college party. This is the same thing. Everybody's there to talk. Everybody's there to network. Everybody's there to have fun. It's not specific. It's not serious. Just be laid back, be comfortable, and ask a lot of questions. Introduce yourself to as many people as you can. And the real thing about it is that first one that'll be a little bit awkward, because that first one, you sit down at this table, you met 5, 6, 7 people. So that next meeting that you go to the following month, whenever it is, you're most likely going to see a few of those people. You walk up and say hi to them. You sit down at another table where you're going to meet 6, 7 more people. So as it goes and as it builds, you're going to get to know a lot of those people in that room. So by the time your 3rd or 4th meeting that you go to, it's not going to be awkward at all. You're going to know a lot of people in there. A lot of people are going to know you. So you can walk up and talk to people much, much easier. Just say, hey, how's it going? And they'll want to know about you as well. When you're introducing yourself and talking to them about looking to get a job, they're going to want to know how it's going. Where'd you end up? What are you doing? Where are you at? I mean, that's what these things work. So that's a great way to get going. And it'd be a little awkward at first, but you get past that first second that you sit down in that chair, introduce yourself to everybody in there and start asking them questions about what they do, what they like about it, what they don't, any advice they may have for you. The awkwardness disappears immediately.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is that you don't need to be intimidated because those people are there to network. And even though you're just getting started and you may not have anything on the deal side to offer them, that you shouldn't let that kind of block your social interaction.
No, absolutely not. I mean, really use it to your advantage. I mean, a lot of the people like us that have been in this business for a long time, we love seeing the new kids come in.
Really?
Absolutely. We love seeing the new guys come into these meetings that are really energetic and passionate about wanting to get into this business, to have a lot of enthusiasm and really want to get it rolling and going. We love that. We love talking to those type of guys. There's nothing to be, I mean, don't be intimidated by it at all. Use it as your advantage. And it's a huge one if you can do it right.
So, other than, like you just said, showing your eagerness by talking to these people and asking them questions about the industry, what are some other things that someone could do at one of these networking events to kind of put themselves ahead and make them stick out a little more, leave an impression on somebody?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you're going to be out there, you're going to be talking to a lot of people, and yeah, eventually, as we said, it's going to grow. You're going to meet more people, and it'll be more comfortable as it goes on. I think one of the things that you could really do getting started with it is when you check in, go up and talk to the organizers of that meeting, the people that have put it on. They put a lot of work into those things. They've got to put the name tags out, set the tables out, get the food ordered. I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into holding every one of those meetings. And the people that are running it are the people that run the organization. They know everybody in there. I mean, they know a lot of them. You can go up and talk to them and just ask how you can help out. If you can stay afterwards a little bit and help put up chairs, put up tables, help clean up. If the next meeting, if you can come a little bit early and do something, just help out in any way. They love free help. They love free help, but it's also great because it just introduces you to so many more people and gets you involved in the organization immediately just by basic little things of taking those extra steps that go above and beyond the basics of just showing up.
Gotcha. So you mentioned that it's important to follow up with these people at future meetings and other things. What is the best way to go about that? So would I be grabbing business cards from them and kind of like keeping their phone numbers and emails? What would I say when I call them or email them too?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big part of it. When you go to these meetings, you go to these functions, you meet somebody. Hey, how's it going? What do you do? All that type of stuff. That's great. That's wonderful. But if you can take it to that next step beyond just that, that's where you can really go above and beyond and get out in front of people. First thing, obviously, get some business cards printed out. Obviously, it's not going to be a business associated with a business because you don't have a job yet, but have your name and your contact information on a business card so that you can pass that out when you sit down at that table and when you meet people. They'll remember names that way primarily. I mean, It's hard to remember names when you just talk to 30 people.
Yeah.
So hand them that card and they'll remember your name much, much better that way. Get their card and immediately the next day connect with them on LinkedIn, which pretty much everybody is on these days. Connect with them on LinkedIn and even take the next step by sending them an email and say, hey, great to meet you at whatever function it was yesterday. Really looking forward to becoming a part of this organization. Just to give you a little bit more information about myself, here's a quick profile of what I've done and what I'm kind of looking towards doing. Promote yourself. I mean, you got to market yourself a little bit. By doing that, you're just, you've not only embedded your name into them by meeting them, saying hi, you've given them your business card, you've connected on LinkedIn, and you've also sent them a profile. They're going to remember that. They'll remember that without a doubt. So where that next meeting comes along, you've got really good, close friends. I mean, that relationships gets built a lot beyond just walking in and saying, hey, how you doing?
Awesome. So once I have these relationships kind of going, say I still don't have a job or any deals, how would I kind of take these relationships and kind of implement them into my life or business to help promote things or get things going?
Well, it's really, it's really just staying in contact with them. I mean, asking how you can help out. Or you can reach out to them. Some people you'll have closer connections with because they're more involved with something that you think you might want to do. Those are the people you might want to give them a call. Say, hey, can I come meet with you sometime? Can I come take you out to lunch or buy you a cup of coffee sometime? I just want to visit with you a little bit more. I want to learn a little bit more. A lot of people will be willing to do that. Something basic. Again, they love seeing the young guys getting into this business that are energetic and really want to get into it. A lot of them will take the time to sit down with you for a cup of coffee at least, just to talk about it and get to know them. So I mean, it's just taking those extra steps and building the relationship continually beyond just, hey, how you doing?
Gotcha. And so I know networking now has kind of become way more involved with the internet. And you starting a business, I'd like to know how you use the internet to your advantage in making new deals or getting your name out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I got into this business, the internet didn't exist. I mean, computers barely existed, and when we did have them, we didn't know what the hell to do with them. So they were very, very early on in the day. So we've been able to see it grow, and it's really grown much more and above my head as far as what we can do with it and the capabilities of some of the social media platforms and different things that you can really publicize yourself on. For us, we have a web page. And that's really it. And that web page isn't a business generator. We don't feel it to be a business generator. It's more of a billboard to where if somebody wants to know about us, they can go to our web page, cbdrealtypartners.com. And they can learn a little bit basics about who we are, how we came about, some of the things that we do. But it's not really something that we use to generate new business out of. We typically do that just through networking, through people that we know, people that we have known.
In-person networking.
In-person networking, exactly. Because of the relationships that we built from being in this business for years and talking to people and finding out what needs are, what opportunities are, and trying to combine those together based on whatever we're doing. So, yeah, the networking is absolutely the key to it. Some of the newer things that you can do with podcasts just like this, social media, LinkedIn post, the X, whatever, there's a million of them, I think, these days that you can promote yourself on. That's above and beyond me. But I know there's a lot of opportunities that you can do that. And a lot of people do promote themselves extremely well on those platforms. And getting into this business, you really want to look for those guys or girls, whoever it is, companies as well. Follow them on LinkedIn. Follow the top people in the industry. A lot of them post a lot of good stuff. You want to be able to learn as much as you possibly can and relate to them as much as possible. I mean, these are the guys that you want to grow up to have a career similar, to have a successful career. If they're there, that's who you want to learn from.
Okay. So you want to surround yourself with people that are kind of where you want to be. And you want to, so say I were getting into maybe residential, I look for somebody who's really pushing themselves hard marketing wise online and residential and kind of use that as like a building plan of where I want to be.
You can learn from them without a doubt. I mean, see what they're doing, see what's successful, learn from them. Typically, they're putting out some pretty good advice, just like this podcast. I mean, you're putting out some great advice to a lot of guys.
You're putting out great advice. I'm just listening and asking questions.
Like I said, this is above my head. I'm just sitting here talking. Putting it together and being able to provide information like this is really huge to anybody that's getting out of school that doesn't know what to do. I mean, you get the degree. That's great. That's wonderful. What the hell do I do now?
Yeah. I've found that to be kind of the hardest thing for me because I got a degree in economics and I did that so I could understand kind of the more broad market concepts of real estate. And because real estate's cyclical, most businesses are, most markets. And so I wanted to kind of get a macro view of how it's done, because I know especially in commercial real estate, like it matters what stage of the market you're in. So that being said, I didn't learn a ton about real estate getting an econ degree. I learned a lot of good stuff, a lot of data analysis, a lot of market trends, but it's kind of fresh to me getting out and learning all these more niche things about the different facets of the industry. So I know you talked about following people would be a great thing to do to learn. Are there any people in particular that you follow that you would recommend?
I don't know if there's really any that I'd recommend because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not necessarily anybody that I just straight up follow to learn from. I'd read a lot of posts from a lot of different people and you just kind of, put them together to figure out what's right. What's really important, as you mentioned, going through economics or any other degree and getting into real estate, even if you've gone through a real estate program out of college, they've taught you the textbook version of real estate. The real world version of real estate is different, and that's pretty much any industry. The real world vision is going to be different than the textbook versions that you've learned in school. So as you do start going, it's to learn everything about that. Industrial real estate, you want to learn about what's important in industrial real estate at the property level. The number of dock-hide doors, the clear heights, the column spacing, all of these things are important that you need to know. It's not that difficult. None of it's complicated. You just want to learn about that type of information as much as possible, as well as market information. What are the rental rates? What are the top markets? What are tenants looking for? Who's moving? Where's the new sites being built? What makes a good site? What makes a good building? I mean, just those are the basic things that you can start to learn about. And there's not really a specific place to go to that. It's just following a lot of people, reading as much information as you can about the industry and about the different property types, and meeting with people at these networking functions. And you're due. I mean, it's okay to not know everything. Yeah. It's perfectly fine. People expect you to not know everything. They know you're green. I mean, that's just the way that it's going to be. But as you go through there and you talk to people, you'll learn about it. You'll learn what's important. You learn what's not important. You'll learn what to focus on. But you've got to keep doing it. It's just like being in school and studying for a test. You're constantly studying, constantly learning things, constantly reading about different trends in the marketplace, about different properties. Read the newspaper, or the magazines. There's still magazines.
There's still magazines out there?
Maybe there aren't. Go to the web pages. Go to the websites. Go to the websites. You can learn a lot about it.
Okay.
Just to kind of familiarize yourself with the different aspects. If it's apartments, you want to know about how many doors and ceiling heights and units and all the different things with apartments. With retail shopping centers, is it on a hard corner? Is it mid-block? What's the access? What's the site coverage? There's a million different things that you get into with that. But the only right way to really learn it is by doing it and continue studying. I mean, college might have stopped, but the learning didn't. It will never stop.
Gotcha. So you just really want to immerse yourself in the market and where you want to be and kind of all of the things that go into it.
Absolutely. You want to learn everything about it, and you want to meet as many people as you possibly can within that industry.
Awesome.
Both of those two things are primary goals.
So it's really important to just know as much as you can about the industry and as many people as possible that are related to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that never stops. I mean, you're getting into the business world now, and that's something that you have to consistently do as long as you're working, as long as you're in this career. It's constantly networking. It's constantly learning about the new trends. It's constantly knowing about which tenants are doing different things, what they're looking for. I mean, it's constant knowledge. Knowledge is an absolute key, and you need to gain as much of it as you possibly can and continue. It never stops. Just like networking, it never stops. You got to keep doing it all the time if you're going to be successful at anything.
Awesome. So after listening to this podcast today, say one of the listeners just closes off, what is something that you would recommend they do? What is the one thing they should do when they're done?
I think immediately after you get done listening to this podcast and have somewhat of an idea of which direction that you want to go, whether it's commercial real estate or any other business, is to look up the organizations that focus on that business. Find the top organizations, and go to one of their meetings. Join up with those groups and start your networking. Go sit down at that table and start saying hi to everybody and following up with them and just building on from there and continuing on. That's the number one step. Easiest way to get out there is to get in front of people.
All right. Well, thank you for being my first guest. Before we close off, are there any deals or projects that you're working on right now that you'd like to let somebody know about?
We can promote ourselves a little bit, I think. We're right now we're focused primarily on projects up in the northwest part of Fort Worth. We've got several pad sites that we're marketing and have control over our own. The several sites that we're out working to either sell, do developments, or we'll do ground leases. We've just got a lot of opportunities out in the northwest part of Fort Worth and out there looking for tenants and users that we can get something going with them.
Awesome. And if someone wanted to contact you about any of these, or even if they just had a question for you, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we'd be glad to visit with anybody that's watching this and has any questions. Probably the easiest way is to go to our website, cbdrealtypartners.com. Brad Cruickshank, my contact information is on there. Feel free to email, give me a phone call. Either way, we'd be glad to visit with you.
All right. Well, listen, guys, if you're just getting started in real estate or any sort of career, you're not alone. I know there's me and plenty of other people are in the same exact boat. So I hope you took something from this podcast today that you can apply to yourself, and I hope you learned. If you have any questions or suggestions for future podcasts, get in touch with me. The best way would be on LinkedIn. That is Slayton Cruickshank, Slayton Cruickshank. I'll be adding anybody. Shoot me a message if you have any questions or concerns or any suggestions for a future podcast. Thank you guys for listening.
Absolutely. Thank you.